Get ready. Three, two, one, start. I have no intention of giving a certificate about which my honorable friend Dr. Krishna Swami was talking some time ago, since anything like certificate being given by any member of the business community is likely to be misunderstood. But the fact remains that impartial observers, both here and abroad, have testified to the soundness and stability of our finances, which have successfully withstood severe stresses and strains of the changing economic factors, both national and international, and for this the fullest possible credit is due to the wise handling of the situation by our present finance minister Para. There have been criticisms on both sides. Some have described the budget as pro big business, as something which has brought about a boom in the stock exchange, and as something which has brought about satisfaction in the business circles. The fact is that if there has been any satisfaction, it has been due purely to negative features of the budget, and not because any positive relief in any direction has been given to business or industry. It is true that there were certain fears in the minds of the business community that, in view of the expanding and growing needs of the center, the finance minister might resort to certain further additional taxation, and since those fears were not realized, there has been some slight recovery in certain stock exchanges, but that does not in the least mean that whatever relief and legitimate relief was due to the business and industrial community was received any adequate response from the finance minister Para. We have got to face the fact that we are at present engaged in the process of development. People who talk about UK and USA conveniently forget that these are the most highly industrialized countries in the world, and our taxation system, so long as we are engaged in expanding and building our economy, must be adjusted and linked with the requirements of the expanding economy, and should not be compared with the high taxation levels that may be prevalent in UK and USA. Friends have talked about unemployment, but whether the raising of the direct taxation levels will in any way mitigate surreptitiously by unfair and illegal methods. These should have attracted the attention of the Essential Commodities Act. The act was passed in this parliament with a view to putting a check on speculative rise in prices para. When it came to the question of practical implementation of this measure, we found that the government had failed. Now governments should say something about it. When government seeks to amend an act, it should tell us as to how the parent act, which is proposed to be amended, has been implemented. Is it the contention of the government that difficulty arises because this particular provision is not there in the act? Are government in trouble because they do not know how to deal with the smaller fries? Or is it because that those who are supposed to administer this measure at the state level, at the district level, have thought it fit to ignore it, have thought it fit to bypass it? If any measure of the central government was needed for controlling the price of food grains and ensuring the supply of essential commodities to the community, it is the Essential Commodities Act. I would like the minister to say something on this. I know that he was not here at the time when we passed this measure, nor was he there when the Essential Commodities Act was bypassed by many state governments. In the past, we had drawn the attention of the minister to this problem, and that minister is now happily going to be the president of the Uttar Pradesh Congress Committee. But here I would like to ask the minister who has stepped into his shoes as to what he is doing in order to see to the proper implementation of this act. How many prosecutions have taken place? The small people, of course, should be dealt with very mildly. I agree and I support the measure, but taking the laws as it is today without this amendment, it empowers government to deal very effectively so far as the provisions of the law go with the big traders, wholesalers, and profiteers. I would like to know as to how they have dealt with them. How many are in jail today? How many have paid fine? How many have suffered imprisonment? How many licenses have been cancelled as a result of malpractices, corruption, profiteering, and so on, all of which are provided for under this bill? We are entitled to know. Take us into your confidence in regard to this matter. I say from whatever knowledge we have that very few have been prosecuted under this act. If it